What is community? In this world, people crave to join all kinds of communities. But what is community? Why are people looking for communities? Look at the word community, which is related to the word communication. When one is really in communication, one is open, never isolated. Therefore, the community is there. So, communication is the foundation of community. So we can really look, learn, and see the same thing together. The very seeing the same thing together, without any efforts, bring about this community, which is humanity. Physically, as human beings, we do need community, don't we? We need to survive, so we need to work together, collaborate, to survive better together. So physically, we do need this tribe. But why this tendency has overflowed into the psyche? When our physical survival is no longer an issue, the mind begins to crave this psychological community. Why? Isn't it because the mind is isolated by the ego, the self, the me? And in that isolation, there's a natural craving for connection, for all kinds of groups, permanent groups, company. And therefore, this isolation drives an illusion, a desire for community. But most of us don't deal with the fundamental issues of this self-isolation. People join or form all kinds of groups, tribes, and there are all kinds of conflicts, numerous, endless, politics, and all kinds of problems that bring about corruption. Physically, we do need community, but psychologically, do we really need or not? The tribalism is over the world, which exists in all kinds of organizations, groups, and they are endless infight, competition, and all kinds checks and balances. So the mind is always turbulent. The very seeking the connection or the community denies community. When one is really looking carefully, seriously, one must find out that psychologically there is no community at all. In other words, psychologically, there's only one community, which is humanity. That's to say, to solve this issue, it's not to seek the illusion of joining or being part of community, but to be a human. That's to empty this me, the ego, completely. So the life is down to earth, practical, and living not as an ego with all kinds of personal stuff, but as a human being. The mind is always looking, learning, without this sense of me. And that very living, which embodies the truth, authenticity, is naturally part of this immovable and true community, humanity. That's why it is so important to see this fact. Physically, we have community to survive, but psychologically, there's no community at all. Or there's only one community, which is humanity, and only a mind that makes no effort, no illusion, is naturally part of this community, human beings.